Hello, everyone. My guest today is Chris Tufford. He's the founder and CEO of Green Apple Pay. He left college after 2 years to start his first business and has had success in a variety of unrelated markets, from telecom to iGaming, including the largest amateur poker league in Canada, the World Poker Tour Amateur Poker League. Chris, you ready to take us to the top?
Sure.
All right. You're under the gun. You've got ace king offsuit. The guy to your right or gal to your right is a pretty aggressive player. You're putting them on pocket queens. They've just shoved all in. Pre-flop, do you call with ace king unsuited under the gun?
Well, that's a bit of a situational call, isn't it? It's are you on the bubble for the money? Because if you're on the bubble for the money, you might actually fold that hand.
Yeah.
There are certain times when you will fold aces.
Yep.
So it's actually situational, but normally you're calling.
I love that. All right, Green Apple Pay. What are you working on?
So Green Apple Pay is a digital fundraising platform for organizations like charities and nonprofits and other community organizations, schools, churches, other things like that, to help them generate steady recurring revenue by making it seamless for their stakeholders to give back through their normal everyday spending, sort of like a cashback reward program for organization.
Mm-hmm. And what's the revenue model for you? Pure software player, or is there a percentage GMV as well?
Yeah, no. So we're primarily actually just doing a rev share. So there's no upfront costs, there's no setup, no monthly or annual fees. We just do a rev share with the organizations.
I see. Okay, so what does the average organization do through you in a year in terms of volume?
Well, we're just launching. We're literally just going to be launching a pilot next week or the week after with a number of organizations to do a bit of a closed beta for a couple of months, and then more of an open beta to get us through sort of probably end of September, and then more of a commercial launch in October.
Well, you're in a heck of a moment then. I mean, this is the launch time for you. So, fill in some of the backstory here. What got you into this in the first place?
Well, a lot of it sort of stemmed from the fact that watching my son does high-level sport karate, and so his team fundraised through a lot of old school stuff, right? That a lot of the parents are organizing. They were doing use electronics and use clothing drives and fundraising barbecues and raffle ticket sales and T-shirt sales, all the old school stuff, right? That people do. And between that and the fundraising stuff that happens at his school, you realize that there was a better way if we could create a digital platform to help these organizations. I know these types of platforms exist for the individual. There's spare change roundups by companies that help you invest in your retirement, like Acorns and Milo. And there's companies that help you earn cashback rewards from your spending, like Drop and Amply and PayMe. But nobody's doing this kind of stuff at the organizational level where, a whole group of dozens or hundreds or thousands of people can pool their spare change and cashback rewards and send it to an organization.
And I mean, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun playing poker. You've been involved with a lot of other things. Why dedicate your time to this? Like, what are you doing now to pay the bills?
Well, my wife's got a good job at a hospital, so that helps. Because I'm actually I'm putting my time in for free right now to make sure other members of the team can get paid. So,
Did you put in a bunch of your own capital to get this going?
We've raised some. We did a family of friends and family.
How much?
We've raised a total of about $500,000, but the majority of that actually came from a number of different government programs. I've made sure not to leave any free money on the table. So I've been
like a good poker player.
That's right.
How much of the $500K was grant money that you don't have to worry about a return on?
About half of it almost.
Okay, interesting. So you raised about $250K from friends and family on like a safe or something. The rest was grant money.
Yeah, well, some of it's debt.
Oh, and debt. Okay, well, how did you raise debt? There's nothing to hold debt against. It's a new company.
Well, one of the first institutions that put some money in was called Verge Capital, and they put money into organizations that have a social purpose. So because of the fact that we're helping organizations with fundraising, there's a real social purpose there to what we're doing, and so they put the money in as debt. So it's just
I see. And is it just a term loan over what period of time?
Yeah. 5 years.
5 years. Interesting. And what do they do? I mean, do they give you like rock bottom rates, 5-6%, or it's like 12?
Prime +2.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's really good. As a matter of
Interesting.
fact, we're talking to them about they're looking to re-up and put some more money in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Why do they want to put more money in? You don't have any traction yet.
Well, because they can see where we're heading. I mean, we didn't even have a product when we put the first money in. So now
Mm-hmm.
that we're about to launch a pilot with a product, they can see where we're headed. They believe in what we're doing. One of the other things that's interesting about that is that interconnected with them is a connection with their parent organization, which is Pillar Nonprofit in Ontario, in southwestern Ontario, which is sort of an umbrella group that is a group that represents other charities and nonprofits. And so we're sort of using them as a great way to provide some warm introductions into that membership organization.
I see.
So
How
it's a
many
bit of a
people?
sales lead too.
Yeah. How many folks do you have on your team right now?
9,
And how many engineers?
2.
2 engineers. So what do the other 7 do?
Well, that's including me. And so, I mean, some of them are part-time, like our CTO is part-time when I need him, and our COO is part-time when I need him. Darren's been around from the very beginning. And then we've got a product consultant that's helping train up Manny, who's the product manager, and Tamuri's doing the lead dev, and Cece's doing the front-end development.
And are you sole founder? Do you have 100% equity?
I have the vast majority of it. Darren's the next largest shareholder, and he's less than 10%.
And he's effectively your CTO.
COO, yeah.
COO.
He's got a lot of experience. He brought a lot of the team members together for us because he's worked with them in the past at some previous businesses. So he sort of brought these guys in, so that's how we knew they were good.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get your first 100 customers on this thing?
Well, it's a relatively easy sale. You can understand that if you're a small and mid-sized charity or nonprofit right now, you've been hurt pretty hard by the pandemic, right? A lot of these organizations, not that different from my son's karate team, did a lot of their fundraising through offline in-person events, right? They ran walk, run, bike-a-thons and charity golf tournaments and charity auctions and all this type of stuff that they haven't been able to run and do anymore. So the idea that we're bringing to them something that's fully digital that they can sort of pivot to and adopt, not only now to help them solve the ongoing problem they're having with fundraising, but then as an augmented new digital revenue stream for the future is pretty compelling.
And I mean, how do you make money on this? If a company puts $1 million through you, raises $1 million through you in a year, how much will you take of that?
We start the rev share at 80-20. But we give them an opportunity to grow their rev share up to 95% through various different metrics, hitting activation targets and time on the platform.
So that's the cost, right? You're making the bet that your software is so valuable that they can raise more money than using other platforms. So that if they put $1 million through you and you take 200 grand or 20%, they go, it's worth it. So I guess that's the question, right? Is who else are you competing with in the space, and will they take a lower percent?
Yeah, well, potentially. But what we're helping them do, of course, is this is going to be found money to them, right? In a lot of ways, I mean, the micro donations from the spare change transaction roundups are practically found money to people because it's just spare change. But once we start rolling in the cashback rewards through connecting into affiliate programs, that's literally found money, right? It's just organizations that'll pay us a commission on track spending by sending people to go shop either online or in their bricks and mortar stores or what have you.
And you mentioned you're looking at raising potentially more debt capital. Are you looking at raising any more equity capital currently?
Yeah, we're going to open a seed round in March.
How much do you hope to raise on that, and at what valuation?
$1 million, I think $1 million at 5.
And give me the sales pitch. Someone says, well, how do you get a $5 million valuation? Chris, you're crazy. There's no customers yet.
Yeah, well, that's really sort of it's more, it's not really a science, is it? Valuations on a pre-revenue tech company. But I would say a $5 million valuation tends to be a bit on the lower side if you're looking at companies that are raising from VCs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just because you're trying to raise from a VC doesn't mean you magically have a $5 million company. That would be crazy. But it is a sales pitch. It is a story. And it sounds like you have an interesting story starting with the need you saw with your son's team. Yeah. So listen, we're rooting for you. Come back on in a year. Give us an update, Chris. In the meantime, though, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
Famous business book, The Making of a Blockbuster by Wayne Huizenga.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I've read a few books over the last few months about Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. They were really good. And Mark Benioff.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building a business?
Wow. I'm really starting to dig into using. I never used a CRM before, so I'm digging in and building out the CRM streak that connects into our Google Mail.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Not enough.
How many hours do you think?
Well, 7, maybe 7 8.
And what's your situation? Married, single, kids? I know you have 1 kid.
Married, 1 son.
Okay, and how old are you?
53. Turned 53 Monday.
Oh, congrats. Happy late birthday. Take us home here. What do you wish you knew when you were 20?
I'm sorry, what did I what?
Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Oh, Lord. Everything takes longer than you think.
Guys, there you have it. Green Apple Pay, betting that he can help nonprofits raise more capital, newfound money by rounding up credit card transactions and things of that nature. They've raised about $500,000 to date, $250,000 of which was basically free money. The other was an angel round, raising now $1 million on a $5 million valuation to keep growing the business. 9 people on the team. He's got about 90% equity. So I'll call it the COO has about under 10%. But they're looking to scale and onboard their first customers here quickly. Revenue model is take 1% of this newfound donation money, and we'll see if it scales. Chris, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan. Really enjoyed talking to you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.